I'm Alison, and today I thought we would have a chitty chat about some of the changes to the British Airways Executive Club. So these changes were announced on the 30th of December and will come into force on the 1st of April, around a week from now. The most significant change is the movement from a distance-based earning model over to a revenue-based earning model. There's been lots of comments online, lots of rants, lots of kind of opinions. I thought today we would just have a balanced discussion. So grab yourself a drink and let's see what these changes mean. Before we get into the specifics of the scheme, let me give you some background and context of how I got into travel hacking. So around 25 years ago, I lived in Phoenix, Arizona in America, and I was hopping backwards and forwards over the pond and earning miles. I didn't really understand what a frequent flyer scheme was. I just know that I signed up to it as you did in those days. I started earning lots of miles, checked my balance. I had over 100,000 miles at that point, which in the early 2000s was quite a lot. I soon realised I could redeem these for free flights, which when you're in your early 20s on a tight budget is very welcome. And at that point, I became hooked. I was over in America when Kellogg's did their coupons on the back of the cereal packet offer, and you could cut out your coupons and redeem them to 500 miles with American Airlines. I ate a lot of cereal during that time period. Moving forward to now, it's become a big hobby for me, and I've had experiences I would not be able to afford to have if it wasn't for this hobby. So things like flying British Airways first, really happy memories of being on a 747 in the kind of nose in seat 2A, access to the Concorde room at London Heathrow. I also earn hotel points as well and redeem those for hotel stays around the world. So let's have a look at some of the changes and possibly how they will impact yourself. The first change is a change of name. Second change is a change of logo. Doesn't really impact me at all. It looks slightly more modern. Obviously a huge amount of money's been spent on this, but I think the big change that has impacted the majority of travellers is the change from distance-based earning to revenue-based earning and the increase in tier point levels, making it harder to earn status. With the new scheme, the tier point levels are substantially higher, and they're also harder to earn as you need to spend more money to get to those status levels. So for example, this will have the biggest impact on leisure travellers, small business owners, and also a lot of corporate travel policies now will not let you fly anything above World Traveller Plus. You're not able to book a fully flexible ticket. So again, it'll be harder for these people to earn their status levels. There's been a range of reactions on online forums from, oh my goodness, I'm never flying British Airways again, my life is over, oh my goodness, to the more kind of balanced view that this was always going to happen. It's very common in North America. They've been using revenue-based schemes for quite a while. I think people were just shocked, first of all, at the way it was announced. It was snuck in on the 30th of December. A lot of the press were on their holidays at that point in time, and a lot of people were kind of planning their travel for next year, maybe already committed to it and didn't have a choice of airline because they'd already committed to British Airways at that point. And I also just think the tier point levels are substantially higher than people expected as well. It really does make it challenging for the regular traveller to hit those status levels. Me, probably a more balanced approach. Trying to get to grips with the scheme has actually made my head explode. I'm going to try and break it down in a video. Maybe other people can add their comments if you're watching this to maybe kind of guide me if I've miscalculated anything. But yeah, it feels more complicated than maybe it needs to be. The reasons for the changes are clear, and to be honest, they have been a long time coming. Getting silver status is the sweet spot in this frequent flyer scheme. So in addition to what you would get as a bronze level member, which is things like your priority check-in, priority boarding, fast track security, as a silver status member, you get lounge access and you can guest another passenger, a family member in as well. And this gives you free food, free drink, and in theory, a quieter place to sit and wait for your flight. In reality, the lounges are really busy. If you go to London Heathrow, they're exceptionally busy. And the last few times that I've been down there, I struggled to get a seat, to be honest. And I've ended up just going back into the main terminal and just finding a quiet corner to sit. The other issue that we have is the priority boarding. Often the priority boarding for status members is actually longer from regular boarding, but everybody's there with their status cards going, I'm going to queue in the priority lane, and the service is not great, is it? You're kind of stood in this long queue, too many members, and everybody's trying to take their own luggage on board as well. British Airways have had multiple issues with their luggage over the years. Luggage has gone missing, there's been delays of it coming out at the carousel, there's been issues at London Heathrow. So people want to keep hold of their cases, which means more people are bringing their luggage on board, filling up the overhead lockers. With the priority boarding, these are often full pretty much immediately. So something did have to be done. I would say that it's annoyed quite a lot of passengers though, just the way it was done, and also the tier point levels do not feel achievable for the majority of people. British Airways have made it clear that flights booked before the 30th of December and for travel after the 1st of April 2025 will be awarded tier points in proportion to the old scheme, which was in place at the time of booking. To work this out, you need to do a conversion calculation where your original tier points are multiplied by 13.33 recurring. So I'm flying to New Orleans from London Heathrow in September. I'm flying out World Traveller Plus and returning in Club World. In the old scheme, this would give me 230 tier points. You can see here with the conversion calculation applied on the new scheme, I would get 3,066 tier points. It's very difficult to compare old to new, just because the targets are so different. But the one thing that jumps out to me with this calculation is with the old scheme, I would need another 70 tier points to get to bronze, which would be a Club Europe flight. With the new scheme, I'm going to have to spend £1,903, which obviously is a lot more. So what does eligible spend include? So British Airways said it includes the base fare and any carrier imposed charges. So this is an example that I've pulled up here. I'm still not 100% clear, but this is my understanding from the breakdown that I'm looking at. And I believe this should be clearer on the website at this point. So I'm UK based and I travel with a mixture of work and pleasure. Often booking travel by myself, but a proportion of my travel is booked using a US based travel agent. And I'm trying to get my head around how that is going to impact on my tier point earning. The currency conversion aspect is quite important with things changing so rapidly at the moment. I did change my currency for my trip this week and I got $1.22 to the pound, which is actually better than it has been, but that could impact on earning for the tier points. It also creates a lot of uncertainty. I'm used to be able to planning my trip, working out when I'm going to hit status and if I need to do anything different to earn status. But actually having this model makes that really difficult and it takes it out of my control. It'd be really useful to know if the soft landing of status is still going to exist. This has been part of the scheme for a really long time. So essentially at the moment I am silver status, the anniversary year ends on the 31st of March, and historically I would drop down to bronze status. That would give me certain benefits, including seat selection 7 days before I fly, which is something that I do value. The new scheme comes into effect in less than a week. Is the soft status landing still going to be a thing? I'm flying out at the weekend and it would be really good to know if my pre-seat bookings are going to hold for my return flight. I can't find any information on this online. I've looked on the FAQ page on the British Airways website. I've read lots of forums. There's people speculating yes and no, but it would be good to have some firm answers on this. So, will things improve? And just to be very clear here, I am not talking about the cabin crew. I'm not talking about the experience on the ground at London Heathrow. Both of these I've had really great experience with. I love British Airways cabin crew, have had really great experiences with them, some really good memories over recent years, including a trip to Vegas last year, which was just, the crew were fantastic. There was a lot of party people on board. It was just a great flight. I'm talking more about things like IT, and everybody knows British Airways have had IT issues. They've committed to spend a lot of money to improve their IT infrastructure. I'm not seeing the output of that at the moment. The website still crashes, the app still crashes, you still have issues checking in sometimes. Even with the updated app, you can't download your membership card to Apple Wallet, which I guess you don't need it there, but I just find it really frustrating when other airlines offer that. If you fly American, United, many other airlines, you can track your bag, see where it is. You can use an AirTag, and that's what I just stick in mine. But you don't have that through experience with the online receipt. Things like cancellations, British Airways seem really bad pushing that information through to your phone, and things like gate changes as well. I have the paid subscription to Flighty. It's an app that I've used for quite a while now and I love it, and I seem to get the updates through on that sometimes hours before the British Airways app updates. I have no idea what's going on, but that is a big area that they need to improve on to keep their customers happy. So, what does the future look like? Does anybody have a crystal ball? So, what do you think might happen going forward? Do you think we might be able to obtain status purely through credit card spend? This is something that we see a lot in North America with massive sign-up bonuses and status being held just by having a credit card. I would say this is really unlikely over here due to the interchange fees placed on the card, and I get really jealous going to North America and seeing some of the offers available. How about things like bonus tier points? We can already get tier points under the new scheme for some add-ons, so things like sustainability schemes, pre-seat selection. And I guess the last thing is, are we going to be able to pay for lounge access? There are more paid lounges available these days in airports, number one, Priority, Aspire, American Express Centurion lounges. I've seen comments on online forums that this is maybe a route that British Airways will go down. So it'll be interesting to see if lounge traffic gets quieter over the next 18 months and 2 years, if lounges improve in terms of food and drink quality, and whether the paid lounge access is going to be an option going forward. So here we are, a week away from the changes kicking in. It'll be interesting to see what the impact is over the next 18 months to 2 years. Will those people who vow never ever to fly British Airways again actually change their mind and end up on the flights? Will the lounges be quieter? Are people going to find a way to play the scheme now that we can no longer do status runs? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I have flights committed this year with British Airways, 2 or 3 transatlantic flights and a couple of European flights as well. I'm going to wait for the dust to settle and then make any big changes going forward just to see how things play out. I hope you found the video interesting. It's been really good having a little chitty chat with you, and I hope to do some more of these going forward. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you soon.